Thank you to everyone who joined last night for the Nearpod chat. I hope you take a look back and see some of the answers to the questions regarding the virtual end of the year. Hello, Teachers Distance Learning Diary, day 47. I want to thank everybody who was on the Nearpod chat. Like I said before, please go back and take a look at some of the awesome responses and discussion that we had. If you get a chance, just look for the hashtag Nearpod chat, and you can see some of the questions from yesterday. So today, I enlisted the help of two great teachers in the Woodbridge Township School District who work at School 29, Monica Sepa and Monica Sepa La Femina, and Danielle Adase. I had a little discussion with them about how they're approaching the subject of social and emotional learning with their early grade elementary students. Sorry about the camera moving. So please take a look at the Zoom call that we had coming up right now.
Sounds good.
Okay, so welcome everybody. I have two special guests with me today, two teachers that work very hard in the Woodbridge Township School District. They teach lower elementary, which I am not in tune to, and God bless them for teaching the lower grades because I just don't know how you do it. So if you two want to introduce yourselves, that would be awesome. So whoever wants to go first.
I'm Danielle. I teach at Oak Tree Road School with Monica. Been there or in the districts for about 9 years now, third grade for the past 5 years.
Hi, I'm Monica. I teach with Danielle at Oak Tree Road School 29. I've been in the district for 10 years now, loving every minute of it. And, I love my kids. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having us, Joe.
No problem. So we've been talking this week on my digital distance learning diary about social and emotional learning, and I'd like to hear some of the strategies that you guys maybe have implemented over the last 10 weeks, and that's still shocking to say 10 weeks.
Definitely.
If you guys could maybe talk about what are some of the things that you've done with the lower elementary grades, or maybe something you're planning on doing between now and the end of the virtual school year to help meet the needs of your students socially and emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no, it's, we've been using a wide range of different platforms to be reaching out to our students for our social emotional growth. I know Danielle and I are both Flipgrid grid guides, and we utilize Flipgrid all the time with either daily or weekly check-ins, and we like to connect our Flipgrid with different activities. I know both of us have been utilizing the student choice boards and creating our own choice boards for students to have their own choice and voice on what they want to do with SEL. I know that Cosmic Kids Yoga is one of my favorite things in the entire world.
What was that again? I'm sorry. What was that again?
It's Cosmic Kids Yoga.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. They have their own YouTube channel. And I've actually started utilizing it with my kids in class. And we would be doing it usually anytime like after recess if we wanted to like calm down a little bit. So what I do is usually on the daily, I would try to incorporate either a yoga link or a drawing hub link that they could be able to access and just be able to kind of mellow out throughout the day and kind of give themselves a brain break. But let's hear what else Danielle's been doing as well, because I know we've utilized a lot of the same things.
We do, yeah. Like Monica said, I think another thing to add to the Flipgrid side of things is it promotes the interaction between the students too, meaning that this is a time that we don't know if the students are if the parents are getting the students in contact with each other. It allows them in our platform, we ask a question and then it allows them to talk to each other as well. So that's a great.
I was gonna ask you about that because I teach middle school. I have 7th grade primarily, and I do flip grids with my 7th graders, and it's like virtually impossible to get. Like I actually have to like force them. Like, okay, you'll get evaluated. If you respond to somebody else, I'll up your score a little bit. Like it's very hard to get them to like respond to one another. So I don't know if it just maybe comes more naturally for elementary school kids to want to do this, or if you're encouraging them to do so on their own. I'm kind of looking for advice too about how you guys approach that. So
Yeah, no, I mean, you obviously, then you can turn it on or turn that off, the fact that they can reply to each other. So there are some topics where where it might be, okay, let's debate about how did the dinosaurs become extinct? And then like they are able to discuss. Then there might be some topics where you don't necessarily turn that on as well. But I think outside of that, that platform has allowed our students to see us, and for us to be visible
Definitely.
for them. And I think a lot of, we've also recorded a lot of our instruction, which is the way that we've put out our math instruction. I know Monica probably also does for Journey Stories each week
Yes.
too. So we do our like main instruction in the beginning of the week with recorded videos that they can see us, they can hear us, they can learn on their own differentiated time. And they can replay, and then throughout the week they'll get a lot of flip grids that they can see us in that sense too. I think being visible is like huge right now. So
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I agree. I think that's a key thing, for all the grades. And even, and I talked about this before, I use check-in forms. I know you guys probably use check-in forms with your students
Yep.
from time to time, right? And I had a kid who said, like, I'm just struggling right now. He just put that down in the check-in form, and I called him and I talked to his mom and I said, put your son on the phone. And like, that was weird, because it's just weird to be calling a student out of the blue and be like, okay, what's going on? How can I help? What can I do? But that interaction completely, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the savior or whatever, but that interaction kind of completely changed his progress in distance learning. He didn't become an A+ student, but he at least like kept on track with his due dates. I checked in with him the following week, because I think he just needed somebody to be like, look, I'm here. What's going on? Let's figure this out. Let's work out a better way. I think for the later grades, that might be something that you guys maybe are dealing with. I don't know how much you've
No,
talked individually with your students, but
I think it's really important to keep, open lines of communication. I know that Danielle and I both use Remind app to communicate with our parents, and use Flipgrid short videos to video ourselves. And even if it's like a morning message or kind of just like a jump start to the week or to wrap up the end of the week, I think it's important to do so. But even using, like, we all love Bitmojis, using the Bitmojis to communicate with our parents to remind and things, just kind of easing it and letting them know that we are here for them and that we're here for their children. And we want to be there for them and
yeah,
help them in any way that we can.
I love that idea, the morning message being sent through Remind too. I think that's a great idea, especially, because then you're getting parents involved with watching that message too and seeing that interaction. I think that's great.
I was thinking about that the other day because, like Monica says, actually every morning, I do my attendance with my parents every morning, and like where they have to check in for their student. And I've kind of thought about it as a way, as like, what a great way to know that I'm going to start every day with a message from a parent, that if I need to reach out to them for any reason, that I know that every day I have that set time that I'll be able to hear from them. And then I have that built in time that if I need to reach out about something else, it's like, thank you for their attendance. And by the way, and like Monica says, I send like a
Absolutely.
emoji to myself every morning, and you can see the parents react to it. And I feel like they feel connected through the simplest thing, which is like
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and not to talk tech for a second, but I know that Remind is also going to be, you're going to be able to do the Screencastify integration now in Remind. So you could do
Amazing.
directions, then that directed to the students. So there's more to it than just like, hey, good morning, please do your attendance. There's a lot, because as a parent who has two sixth graders, not 6-year-olds, sitting inside right now, sometimes they run into problems, and having that video on your phone instead of like digging through your kid's Google Classroom to find it, is definitely helpful. So
That's
That's
the Google Drive integration too has been huge, because like we'll share our Google Docs, we'll make it viewable to anyone, and then we can share our Google Docs right through the Remind app too now. So now the
yeah,
parents are able to get access to these things, whether it's a collaborative document or something like that. And that's really been super great too.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
So
huge game changer for us.
yeah, for other teachers watch it too, it's important to realize that the things that Monica and Danielle are talking about are things that you can do, and it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just literally clicking, turning on a button, filling in, logging into your account, and bang, you have access to all that stuff. So, think about that as you transition towards the end of the year. Like I realize in some districts, depending on where people are watching this from, in Woodbridge Township, we're done June 10th. So that might not be something to look at now, but, we all hope we're back in the classroom in September, but if we're not, and we have to make adjustments, this might be something to put in an arrow to put in your quiver. So and so you guys are both at the same school. Are there any things that you guys have planned as a school for the end of the year? I know you did something pretty cool. Mr. Reed over at 29 did your Bitmoji teachers, and you guys are going to do a guess the teacher thing, right? I think that's coming up.
That's something that I think people can do. I just personally did it with my students in my Zoom. So I'll meet with my students on Zoom once a week, just for, again, like a more social, emotional, enjoy our time together, keep building our community, things like that. Not too much academic wise, but that was one of the things that we did, and they loved it. It was really fun. So
yeah,
great.
We're planning to do that tomorrow during our Zoom meeting, because we also meet once a week as well, just for the social emotional aspect of it, for them to communicate with each other, maybe do a quick read aloud and play a game, but just trying to make it as fun as you can and interactive as you can.
So very little in regards to instruction, more on the, hey, how are you? Let's talk to each other idea, which I think is great.
Absolutely.
And on a side note, I think Mr. Reed's Bitmoji looks way too young and should be much more. And I know he only watches these from time to time, and I hope he gets that one. Have you guys used any additional resources, any of the lessons in Nearpod that I've kind of talked about? Is there any, you're not putting me on the spot.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of.
I'm actually in the middle of creating a virtual field trip classroom with Bitmoji and the Nearpod field trip lessons.
Okay.
So I created a classroom with the Bitmoji, and it's got like the school bus, and it has different signs, and each sign has a Nearpod lesson link. So that tomorrow, I'm planning on, if I finish it today, I'm planning on using it with my kids for Fun Friday tomorrow, that they can pick a different virtual field trip and then go on to Flipgrid and tell me about their experience and what they learned. So
awesome.
I'm hoping that it'll be able to, come out the way I'm envisioning it in my mind.
Nice. That's an awesome idea. I might steal that one. Danielle, anything else you're planning on doing between now and the end of the year?
Brain Pop and Flocabulary also obviously are integrated into a lot of Woodbridge Township teachers' daily lessons as well. So I know that they both have a social emotional component to them. So Brain Pop has that side of things, and Flocabulary. A lot of that for me has been integrated in for like my health side of things weekly. So it kind of brings in all of this that we're talking about with, a subject that's important, and making sure the kids are okay too. So
yeah, and you brought up a good point too about how, some parents are getting kids in contact with one another, and about how your class is kind of a bridge for that, because some parents might not be ready to say, we just started doing like porch visits with the kids' friends. If a kid wants to come over,
that's nice.
The daughter can sit on the front porch, and the other kid's on the lawn, or her friend rides her bike over, and they sit and they social distance apart and all that stuff. But some parents might not be ready for that. So being able to relinquish the reins of FaceTiming or Zooming with the class is a great idea to get them in contact with one another. So, as I expected with asking you two to do this with me, I know you guys are doing amazing things. And you can follow each of these guys on Twitter if you want to throw your Twitter handle out there, because I'm a big social media guy. I'll throw it in the videos, but you can throw your Twitter handles.
Oh, it's my first name and last name, so at Danielle Adase.
And mine's at Miss Sepa Teach.
At Miss Sepa Teach. I'll have that in the comments. Okay, thanks a lot for joining me today, ladies. I really appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your school year.
Thanks,
you too. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so there you have it. Just a short interview with two wonderful teachers and great educators. I don't teach lower grades, so it was good to get their perspective and hear some of the things that they're doing to support social and emotional learning. It's an everyday thing, especially in a setting like this. And I think one of the themes that I've looked at and learned from some research and looking around that I've done is that face-to-face interaction is really important. Your students want to see your face, especially as you gear down towards the end of the school year. So thanks again for giving it a watch today. This one was a little bit longer than normal. And I look forward to tomorrow's another Friday entry, a little bit of a long 3-day weekend on the way. And my dog jumping around. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I would most appreciate that, and I will talk to everyone tomorrow.